Hello and welcome back to the Grunt Perspective. And in today's video, I'm going to talk about my plate carrier setup for leaders. And when I say leaders, I'm talking about like basically the section leader level and up. Really, in my opinion, if you're a section leader, squad leader, team leader, your plate carrier is not all that different than it was when you were a rifleman or a grenadier or an automatic rifleman or something like that. You just probably need to put a radio pouch on there, put some pouches on there for smoke grenades, other things that you might need to signal. But once you are a platoon leader or a platoon sergeant, you incur some new responsibilities that you previously did not have, and some of that stuff that's on your gear may have to change. Before I start talking, I will say that I think it's really terrible that I see a lot of like platoon sergeants and platoon commanders that really don't have absolutely anything on their gear. Once you're a staff sergeant or something like that, then you're like, oh, I got 3 magazines. I got no grenades. I just got fucking radios and brief cards and all kinds of bullshit. And they say, my men are my weapon. That's absolutely true, but doesn't mean that you're not a weapon still. You should still be a competent fighter in any squad or team within your platoon. That's just not how real life is. That's definitely a training thing where, your platoon is running a platoon attack range and the platoon sergeant takes 10 rounds and gives all the rest to his Marines. That's bad business. You are still a gunfighter. And I would say that until you're above company level, like leadership, like basically like battalion, like a leadership, you're still a gunfighter. You're just a guy that is supposed to be controlling it more than the guy that's supposed to be doing it. And I think that's just a terrible way to go about it. So you'll notice that I still have fucking 6 magazines on my plate carrier. I still have places to put grenades. Like I brought my belt here. I'm not going to do a video on the belt right now, but my belt, I still have frags. I still have mags. I still have places to put smoke grenades and all the regular stuff. I still have chem lights and all the normal crap that a rifleman or a team leader or a squad leader would have. But your job is different, but it doesn't mean that you get to like not carry shit on you that you need to fight. I think that's a terrible mindset, and unfortunately, it's a pretty common mindset. So, without getting too down the rabbit hole on that and talking shit and dropping names, I'm going to start going here. So, first things first, this is the Marine Corps Gen 3 plate carrier. This is issued, standard issue, and I've made quite a bit of modifications to it, so I'll talk about it first. I'll talk about the modifications first, and then I'll talk about what I got fucking going on with it. The first thing that I did is I upgraded the Cumber Buns to the Shaw Concepts ARC V2 Cumber Buns. These are very nice Cumber Buns. They're very similar to the Marine Corps issued Cumber Buns, but they have a little taper in the back that kind of leaves up some space for the magazine on the belt, at least for me. They still have some structure to them. They still have Tigris on the top and on the bottom. I've put side plates and side plate pouches on the inside of them before. It works fine. I'm not using them right now because I don't need to right now. But that is a very useful upgrade. And the main reason why I wanted it is because the first spear tube, you can see, is kind of like recessed into the Cumber Bun, which allows for molly over the top of the first spear tube. One of the biggest problems with the issued Cumber Bun that comes with it is once you put your tube on, then it's got space for the tube. Then it's got like an inch where there's no molly, and molly, like, it doesn't start until like right here where this pouch is. And if you need to carry stuff on your Cumber Bun like radios or smoke grenades or things like that, which you probably need to if you're watching this video, then you don't start to have space to put things until it's already like almost too far back for you to reach it. So in my opinion, this is one of the, if you can only afford to do one upgrade to your plate carrier, upgrade the Cumber Bun, because now I have no gap in my mountable like Molly surface. Up here in the front of your body is prime fucking real estate. I can reach all this shit, and it's all important stuff that I need to reach. So not having that like 2 to 3 inches there fucking sucks, because that's like, just dead space that could be used for something, but you can't because you don't have a good enough fucking cummerbund. So I've got that on both sides, obviously. I took the soft armor, not the soft armor. I took the slick plate carrier out, and I reinserted the soft armor into the plate carrier, and then the hard plate, obviously. And then I did what I guess is just called the 550 cord mod. If you're in the Marine Corps, you know that the M27 fucking buttstock is approximately a quarter mile wide, and it's very difficult to shoulder when you have this plate carrier on, unless you're a fucking Sasquatch of a person. And I'm a big guy, but it's still tough for me. So what you do is you run some 550 cord through the molly. You want to use some tan 550 cord that's real slick and hard to tell, so your first sergeant or your sergeant major doesn't notice, right? And then you tie around the inside to kind of tighten up the shoulder pockets. And I've done it to the back as well. You don't need to do it to the back, but you got to get those lats poking out, looking real fucking huge. So you tie it so it keeps the shoulder pockets nice and tight. And once I did that, very comfortable to shoulder a rifle. I can actually put the rifle on my actual shoulder instead of on my plate carrier, which is always going to be better. So that's super awesome. I would recommend you do that. One of the downsides to doing that mod, though, well, not the 550 cord mod, but like taking out the slick plate carrier from the plate carrier, is you lose all the padding for your shoulder straps. For some guys, they don't really want padding on their shoulder straps anyway. I like a little bit of padding. I would venture to say that this is probably too much for me, though. These are the Axle Advance, the structured, the shoulder pads, and they're very comfortable. They have a Tigris piece in them that depresses the load of the weight across the whole width of the shoulder pad, as opposed to just where the strap is and then just adding foam. Just because a shoulder pad is big does not mean it's good. These are very well designed. I don't know if I'm going to continue to use them, though, because of their size, they're a little bit uncomfortable to wear with a rucksack, and I don't know if I'm going to continue to use them for that reason. But excuse me. They're very nice, and if you don't need to wear a ruck very often, which would be weird, but if you don't need to wear a ruck very often, then it's a very good shoulder pad. Excuse me. Now, that's all the modifications. So I'll start talking about what I got fucking going on from the front to the front, top down, sides, back. So first thing on the front is my ARC admin pouch. And if you've watched my channel, you know that I'm not a huge fan of admin pouches, but this admin pouch is just so well designed, and there's so much thought that went into this admin pouch, as well as all the stuff that Shaw Concepts makes. 75% of my plate carrier is Shaw Concepts because they're fucking that good. But the reason why I say that is because it has a sloping feature to it that the bottom of the admin pouch tucks behind the magazines, and it still makes it very easy to get a magazine out, to put a magazine back in, even for like the center magazines. Like, it's super easy to do. So I wanted to have an admin pouch, and you'll probably need to have an admin pouch if you're a leader. And one of the reasons why I like this one is because it's ATAC capable. It has wire pass-throughs in the bottom of the admin pouch tucked behind the magazines as you're looking at it. And that allows you to run all the necessary fucking cables from the radio, from the other stuff, or like a portable battery into the admin pouch. And then your ATAC, just you put a piece of Velcro and it Velcros onto the front right there. Zips up completely to hopefully try to minimize some of that light, like NDs and things like that, or glint off of the phone, which is sick. Inside of it, I keep a signal mirror, a ranger card, a whistle, some cami paint, and a lens pen. Be useful for all kinds of stuff. I use this stuff all the time, especially the lens pen. Useful for 31s, useful for other optics, useful for glasses, things like that. And it looks like I have a range wheel, or whatever these things are called, from the last time that I was fucking around with mortars. But yeah, ATAC is something that most likely in the future is going to be in widespread use in the infantry, especially for guys who are leaders like platoon sergeants, platoon commanders, things like that. Especially if you're a platoon sergeant, you're dealing with a lot of fires, things like that. You're probably going to have that kind of thing. So having something like ready to go that you can run an ATAC with is going to be great. Now, push to talk. This is a dual push to talk with a single down lead from the Peltors. So I plug in my single down lead Peltors, and then I have 2 buttons to key into either radio. That's my preference, because I know that you could have dual down lead Peltors, but then you got to have a push to talk on both sides, or you figure out a way to put them on the same side. But this is issued. This is the Invictus or Atlantic Signal push to talk that has 2 down leads to plug into radios here. So you could plug in one radio here and then plug in the other radio here, and then just have the single down lead Peltors. I only have 1 down lead on there right now because I only have one. I'll probably buy another one, because in the infinite wisdom of the Marine Corps, they're going to issue a dual push to talk with only 1 down lead, because I don't know, that's just how we get down. So I'll probably buy another one, but I have this routed from the push to talk underneath the flap on the plate carrier, back up underneath the admin pouch, and then it comes out on this side. I wrap it around the top of the push to talk, and then it plugs into the top of the radio just like that. And once I get the second one, I'll probably run it underneath the admin pouch, make a couple loops with it, so it just comes out with the amount that I need to plug into the radio right there. Onto the front, Shaw Concepts ARC V3, I think, placard with the quad RAM insert, the 5.56 insert. The quad RAM insert is it's an amazing piece of gear. It's elastic insert, so you get the retention of an elastic magazine insert, but because of the Tigris on the sides of it, it makes it very easy to re-index magazines, which is not something that you usually get with elastic inserts. As you can see, I don't use a dump pouch on the belt, so being able to put magazines back in there is something that's very important to me, and this achieves that very clean and very easily. On to the front of the placard, I have a Shaw Concepts rear document stacker, and I'm absolutely not using it the way that you're supposed to use it. As is in the name, it's a rear document stacker. It's supposed to go behind the placard, but I didn't want to fuck with getting around my magazines just to pull out things like maps, which if you're a platoon leader or a platoon sergeant, you'll probably need to pull that shit out pretty frequently. So I wanted it to be in the front. So I took apart the placard, I cut off the straps to the rear document stacker, and I put it in the front of the placard. And it doesn't make a difference, because no matter what, I have the same amount of shit on the front of my body. It's just in a order that's more comfortable for me. So that's kind of weird. I talked to Shaw Concepts about that. They thought it was pretty cool, but useful to put like a strip map or a larger map that you can fold and tape and do all the normal grunt stuff with. I keep the zippers on the right side because I pull my magazines out with my left hand, and I'm going to pull this one, then this one, then this one, then this one, and I don't want to accidentally grab the zipper and pull it out like that, so I keep them on the right side. Now, bottom of the placard, again, Shaw Concepts, the tourniquet holder with a tourniquet, and then right below that I have the Onward Research Simp pouch. It's Garantham's company that I keep a signal panel and some other signaling devices in there. Super important for a leader to have that kind of stuff. Your radios are not always going to work for you, and the chances are they're going to not work when you need them to work the most. So having your signal plan very thorough and very intricate is something that's going to benefit you greatly. But that covers the front almost. We'll talk about the radio setup here and the cabling. So the radio pouches, these are fake 152s, but the radio pouches are Shaw Concepts ARC radio wings, and they're pretty nice. You can see that they have some padding, so they're nice and comfortable against the body. If you've been watching my channel, you know that I really don't care for radios on the inside of Cumber Buns, just because of like you having to get them out and fuck with them and things like that. But I feel like if you're gonna have to carry two radios, it's really the only way to go, because having two radios on the outside of your gear, they start to sag, they start to get very heavy, the antennas are going all over the fucking place, and it starts to get very weird. And then plus, if it's mollied to a pouch, you now kind of lose the ability to take that Cumber Bun off in a hurry. So that's something that's important to me, important to all Marines, because we like to fly over water or ride in vehicles over water. So that's one of the benefits of having them all attached to the front plate bag. All of my cables and all of my routing is attached to the front plate bag, over the shoulder straps, and to the back plate bag. My Cumber Buns are not attached in any way whatsoever at all to the front and the rear plate bag. Well, obviously attached to the rear, but not attached to the front plate bag, so I can get it off quickly if I need to. But the antenna relocation cables are the Disco 32 3-foot relocation cables. They go on the radio as it's on my body. I kind of tilt them forward a little bit like that, and then my push to talk or my audio port gets connected right there, and it keeps them from fucking with me. They're kind of tucked in my armpits. It's pretty comfortable. But yeah, the cables themselves run over the shoulders through the pass-throughs on the shoulder pads to the back underneath the flat pack, and then they stick out on the sides on the bottom of the flat pack to two TCI mast antenna relocator kits. I just have fake antenna. Well, that one's real, but this one's fake. And antennas in there right now. You can see they screw in, and you just use the antennas that you need to use for your specific communications, your frequencies, things like that. These are obviously the UHF antennas. So more than likely, if I needed to be on, two, like a company and like a fires net and like a platoon net, then I would probably have 2 3-foot whips back here. But if you're talking to aircraft, you need the short ones. But you screw in whatever antenna that you need to there, and then you fold and you secure them accordingly or unfold them so you get better communication with them. But yeah, very clean, very slick, keeps all of the antennas and the push to talks and stuff out of my fucking face and in the way of my rifle and all kinds of crap. Almost necessary if you're going to be running two radios, at least for one side. Like I could run a traditional antenna on this side, And then on this side, like I need to be able to shoulder my rifle, and all that shit's going to be in the way. So I definitely need a relocator on at least my on at least my strong side. But yeah, Disco 32, great company. Their stuff has been proven and tested, and I'm very confident in putting their stuff onto my communication equipment, mine. But yes, on the front here, I have a piece of Velcro one wrap that once I plug my Peltors in, I just wrap around there to keep the whole push to talk from kind of bowing out like that. I keep it nice and tight to my plate carrier just like that. Yeah, I think that covers the comms and all the cabling and all the things. Again, be careful. Don't route your cables in a manner where you make it impossible to take your plate carrier off in less than like 10 seconds, because when you're in those kinds of situations, the seconds count, and you might die because of it. So moving on to the Cumber Buns. Again, Shaw Concepts, Cumber Buns. This whole video is basically just a fucking ad for Shaw Concepts, but they make great shit, and that's all there is to it. So on the front of both Cumber Buns, I have a T3 gear tourniquet pouch with a tourniquet. Not necessarily anything that pertains to being a leader per se, but I just like having tourniquets. I have 3 on my plate carrier, I have 1 on my belt. And yeah, because I have the space for them with these nice Cumber Buns that have the tube kind of like recessed, I put a tourniquet on there. So yeah, 2 tourniquets. Then onto my weak side, I have a spud pouch with 2 magazines inside of it right now. But spud pouch is awesome. You can put 2 mags in there. You could put 3 mags in there. You could put a dagger. You could put some of the weird, like the grenades and the munitions and things like that. You could throw a couple flashbangs in there. You could put all kinds of goofy nonsense in there, as I said in one of my previous videos. So spud pouch. Then on the side here, I have a flashlight pouch, which my flashlight I think is in my uniform still. I hope so. And a flashlight, I like to keep it on my non-firing side. That way, if I'm holding my rifle, I can pull the flashlight out without having to take my hand off the firing controls on my rifle. So I can like, hold security, pull the flashlight out, and like look in a closet or something like that, look underneath a bed or something like that. It's also important, especially if you're a platoon sergeant, that you need to blind your platoon every time that you count their shit. You need to have at least 1,000 lumens, 1,500 preferably, so you really see all that EDL and burn all of your Marines' fucking retinas. All jokes aside, have a flashlight. Nice thing to have. Onto the opposite side, some shears tucked right there. Then I have a Garmin, just a training thing. Don't use these in combat, right? I've talked about those ad nauseum on the channel and all of my other videos before. A Spiritus small GP pouch. I think I already said it. If not, that's what it is. Inside, got two smoke grenades, again for signaling, or it's just a GP pouch. So you could put, again, all kinds of goofy nonsense in there. You can put a dagger. You could put like fucking 6 frag grenades inside there. You could put all kinds of weird stuff inside there. So, but the small GP is great because normally a single smoke grenade pouch will take up 2 columns of molly. And so if I wanted to carry 2, then I would have to take up 4 columns of molly. And then I'm starting to get into the realm of like getting in the way of my ruck straps and things like that. But on 3 columns of molly, I can put this pouch and I can carry 2 smoke grenades and I can carry all kinds of other crap. So small GP pouch, definitely useful thing. I like it quite a bit. I have probably 3 or 4 of these at this point. So yeah. Onto the back, Haley Strategic Flat Pack 2.0. I just use it to carry my Camelback most of the time. I know what you're thinking. That's pretty expensive to just carry a Camelback, but it doesn't just do that. It carries other stuff. I can expand it out, carry all kinds of crap, carry Polis litter or flex cuffs or pop flares or whatever the fuck inside here. So that's why I like it so much. In the very bottom, I keep some small, like a repair kit for my plate carrier. I have a male and a female tube, and I have a whole strap assembly for the shoulder with the rear buckle and a repair buckle on the front of there. Something very useful to have. I'll take that out there. Uh, very useful to have, even if you don't use it. Someone inevitably is going to need it, and being a platoon sergeant, you're kind of like the platoon father. Uh, you take care of the little young ones when they're fucking stupid. So, yes, very nice thing to have there. Last thing I'll talk about is a leader's book of some sort. You've probably had this since you were a team leader, right? But make sure you have it. I like to keep all this shit inside my cargo pocket. I don't like to take up a lot of space on my shit to put something like this when it fits so cleanly inside a cargo pocket. But I got pens for maps. I got a bunch of brief cards, a bunch of protractors, a bunch of crap, a calculator there. Lots of people like to say, you should be memorizing all of those brief templates and things like that. And you can memorize a few of them, the really important ones, but there's just too much. There's just too much to memorize. So it's really easy to just carry a couple pieces of laminated paper and read it. But yeah, that's really the setup. Just like I said in the very beginning of the video, like just because you're going up in rank and billet, it doesn't mean that you're not still a fighter. So don't let yourself fall into that. You're still, at the end of the day, you are the ultimate example for your platoon, your unit, things like that. And they're going to look at you weird if you're not carrying the same shit that they're carrying. And then more, but that's how it is in the military. As you get older and more broken, you have to carry more stuff. That's obviously not completely true, but it is. If you're a junior guy, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So don't fall into that. Anyway, I hope this was helpful. I hope all the notes about comms, wiring, and things like that, and the ATAC and all that was helpful for you guys. And I'll see you next time.